Keir Starmer's comments on Farage sparked discussion. Ricky Gervais weighs in with surprising take. In a week filled with headlines, one unexpected story has captured both political and entertainment circles. Remarks made by Labour leader Keir Starmer about political rival Nigel Farage and the unexpected commentary that followed from none other than comedian and actor Ricky Gervais. The conversation started when portions of a recent political interview featuring Starmer were discussed publicly, drawing attention for their candid tone and perceived criticism of Farage's public persona and political trajectory. While not officially leaked, the content became the subject of wider discussion online after snippets were circulated by journalists and political commentators. But what truly made the moment go viral was when Gervais, known for his bold and often unfiltered opinions, chimed in during a podcast appearance. The result? A fascinating and surprisingly thoughtful conversation about politics, public image, and the boundaries between serious discourse and satire. Speaking in what appeared to be a behind-the-scenes moment of a political interview, Starmer addressed questions about the state of public discourse in Britain, including the role that populist figures like Nigel Farage play in shaping national conversations. While careful not to name-call or make any personal attacks, Starmer suggested that certain public figures have made a career out of dividing the country more than uniting it. He went on to say that leadership should be about bringing people together under shared values, rather than stoking division for political gain. Though not particularly shocking in tone, the comments struck a nerve with supporters and critics alike. Some praised Starmer for finally showing a more direct stance on political polarization, while others felt he was dismissing valid criticisms voiced by Farage and others over the years. The story took an unexpected turn when Ricky Gervais, during a guest appearance on a popular culture and politics podcast, was asked to weigh in. Known for his caustic wit and boundary-pushing humor, many expected him to joke about the feud. Instead, Gervais surprised listeners with a more nuanced take. "I think we sometimes forget that politicians and public figures in general are playing to different audiences," Gervais said. "Farage speaks plainly because that's his brand. Starmer is more cautious because he's trying to hold a broader coalition together. That's not hypocrisy, that's politics." He continued, "What's weird is how seriously people take everything now. You can't even say something vaguely critical without the internet acting like it's the next World War." Gervais's comments resonated across platforms, with many sharing clips of his remarks as a call for more rational, less reactive political dialogue. The public response to both Starmer's comments and Gervais's reflections has been mixed but lively. Some viewers applauded Starmer for addressing the role of polarizing figures in British politics. "We need more of this kind of leadership," one social media user wrote. "Honest, not inflammatory." Others, particularly supporters of Farage's more outspoken style, saw the remarks as evidence that establishment politicians remain out of touch. "Starmer should focus on policy, not personalities," one comment read. "This just shows he's nervous." Meanwhile, Gervais's contribution was hailed as a refreshing middle ground. "Leave it to a comedian to bring some perspective," tweeted one user. "He's right, we need to calm down and think before we react." The story isn't just about what Starmer said or what Gervais added. It reflects something deeper, the widening gap between political communication and public interpretation. In a time when every comment is clipped, quoted, and shared within seconds, nuance is often lost. Leaders are judged not only on what they say but how it's perceived, who reacts first, and how it's repackaged on social media. As Gervais pointed out, everyone's just waiting to pounce on a headline not to understand, but to react. This dynamic places public figures in a bind. Speak too cautiously, and you're labeled indecisive. Speak too freely, and you risk alienating audiences or sparking outrage. Finding a balance, as both Starmer and Farage are clearly trying to do in their own ways, is becoming increasingly difficult. Whether you lean left, right, or somewhere in between, this recent exchange and the surprising commentary from Ricky Gervais serves as a timely reminder of the value of thoughtful dialogue. Leaders will always disagree. That's part of democracy. But how we, the public, engage with those disagreements can either raise the quality of conversation or drag it down into the realm of empty outrage. As Starmer challenges the tone of populist rhetoric, and Gervais urges a more reflective public discourse, the real question remains: can we, as citizens, rise to meet the moment with the same clarity, honesty, and balance? What do you think? Did Starmer strike the right tone, or was his approach off the mark? And do you agree with Ricky Gervais that our culture has become too reactive? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep the conversation respectful and insightful. If you value content that explores political stories with balance and depth, subscribe and turn on notifications to stay informed. The dialogue doesn't end here, it begins with you.